Welcome to another Oscar prediction show. I am your host, Ricky Valero. It is that time of year where the Oscar predictions are slowly flooding in. Today, I'm going to continue my look at the predictions for each episode. I share my personal 5 picks that I'll be turning in on my own voting ballot that obviously can change between now and when I do that. And then, of course, sharing the predictions who I think will hear their name Oscar nominee morning. Today's episode will be focused on the best director category. Now, there is a few films in the best director category that I haven't quite seen yet that could potentially alter my personal rankings. And that is films like Martin Scorsese's The Killers of the Flower Moon, Jonathan Glazer's The Zone of Interest, Justin Triet's Anatomy of a Fall, Alexander Payne, The Holdovers, Emerald Fennell's Saltburn. So those potentially could enter the foray over the next couple weeks of my predictions. But right now, I'm going to focus on my personal ballot with each and every one of you guys, sharing who I think is going to be in my 5 when I turn my ballot in. Of course, it can change, but whenever I get ready to turn that ballot in, I will share that ballot with each and every one of you. At the same time, I'll be sharing my predictions for the categories and who I think will be nominated in the respective category. So first, I share my personal 5, who I am currently throwing into the fold. For the best director category, hands down, by far, I have kind of penciled in my winner currently right now, and that's Bradley Cooper for Maestro. Just the evolution of watching his direction in A Star is Born, which was by far one of my favorite films of that year, but seeing him polish that up and hone his craft and further cement himself as one of the more, one of the better actor turned directors of our time. Maestro is just captivating and beautiful, and his direction in that film should not be ignored. Celine Song's Past Lives, a film that I truly think should get the whole entire world come Oscar morning. But personally, Song's direction in that film was magnificent. Of course, I can't not talk about Christopher Nolan's direction of Oppenheimer. Gotta be one of the hardest films on paper to possibly direct this year. Nolan's craft and work in that film just truly blew me away. And this one might surprise people. David Fincher for The Killer, a film that I believe should get a lot more love. If you watch the actor episode, I gave Michael Fassbender some love in my predictions there. But David Fincher, The Killer, 1000%. One of my favorite films of the year, currently sitting in that top 3. My number 5 slot is a battle between 3 directors. I've got Greta Gerwig for Barbie. I've got Cord Jefferson for American Fiction and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. I'm giving the slight edge, and I do believe it's because of how many times I've seen the film, to Greta Gerwig's Barbie. It's incredible what she was capable of doing in making that film, but her direction really pops in that film. So for me, she gets the slight edge over Cord Jefferson and Yorgos right now. But could change. We could see. I really feel like Maestro and Past Lives are the only films on this list currently that could see themselves cemented in Sharpie for my personal predictions, personal picks. Now, for predictions on the flip side, we are looking at some of the same names, maybe. But of course, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese for The Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm looking at right now Cord Jefferson for American Fiction. I do think that film is going to play very well to the Academy. Now, every year we have that foreign film that has a film that kind of sneaks into the director slot. What will that film be this year? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I change my mind whenever it comes time for me to see Anatomy of a Fall or any of the other foreign featured films. But right now, currently, I do have Greta Gerwig in that 5th slot for Best Director, with Yorgos, Jonathan Glazer, Alexander Payne, all on the kind of outside looking in. The director race right now is kind of one that's interesting, because I feel like there's a couple wild cards in play. I really do think that Scorsese and Nolan are locked in, with Bradley Cooper maybe on the cusp of being locked into that race. But depending on how Cord Jefferson's films looked at, Yorgos is Poor Things an Academy film? Is it not Academy film? How does Barbie play with the Academy? I think that plays a factor into this too, because you're looking at, in my opinion, with Barbie, you're looking at Best Picture and a bunch of below the line categories, or we're going to see Barbie light up the Oscars with Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, supporting actor, and actress. Like there's so many different avenues I think Barbie can go. I think it just depends on the Academy. When I went to a screening of it recently, played very, very well to the voting body that I was there with. So I definitely think Barbie is a wild card when it comes to potentially being a film that is the most nominated film come Oscar morning. Folks, in the comments, let me know who you think are in your or who in the predictive 5 and your personal 5. I'd love to hear that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in another episode. The next episode will be focused on Best Picture. Talk to you guys soon.